Hey, everybody. We're going to go back up to 300 DPI, but 72, 75, 72. Okay. But for the sake of my computer's life, we are going to work at 72 DPI. Right now, I'm going to work on the interior art, but I'm kind of going through like a little ritual that I normally do of getting like my hands warmed up to like draw essentially, like, and I'll just usually scribble a couple things. What we're going to be working on today is the inside cover and page 1, and I've gone over what I was going to do, so it's going to be pretty much a sweet spot here, and I want clouds kind of rolling in. So we're going to get like, this is going to define what the comic is going to look like. So all the stuff that I've been doing is going to all come into play here. So I want a beautiful horizon line, but it's going to be clouds. And then we're going to have in this sweet spot, if you know your artistic rules, we're going to have the actual helicopter, and I'm going to have to look up reference and work with whatever I can. But we're going to have to wing it essentially. Luckily, we're not going to have to show this helicopter plane too much, but we are going to have to show it at least for this page, and that's where it's going to count. I think I got one more page. I think I got a panel where I want it to, so say this is the page, I want the character to kind of be looking up as he free falls and kind of see the plane leaving in the distance, you know. I kind of want a fish eye for that panel is what I'm thinking. So we've done this thumbnail already. That's how I'm getting those little blotches, is my computer kind of wigs out on this stuff. Yeah, essentially this is going to be the image that we see when we open up the comic book. It is in a double page spread, which I want to do a lot of this because I want to push out a lot of pages. And it's kind of a way of cheating the page count, but we're going to make it worth it at the same time, so no worries. These are all going to be clouds, and then we're going to have, let's do a gradient for the sky. Is it going to be top down or? Yeah, right? Right? Because, no. Yeah. So, let's do that again. Because the sun is coming from the top down. So, and if you're thinking about the comic book in general, they're about to descend. If you want to make things kind of mean something, they're about to descend into the darkness, essentially, of this mission, right? So it kind of gives it a little bit of a metaphorical meaning as well. Um, I use Kablam printing, which they've never done me wrong. I did kind of have a hiccup in one of my comics, but it was kind of a miscommunication thing. So I use all their formats because essentially I want to set this up to if I meet stretch goals on the Kickstarter, I'll end up printing it, but it's going to be at like a go away price because I don't really want to print it for the crowdfunder, even though like I understand why people might want it printed. This is kind of just a loose idea that I'm going with. So this is going to be all sky, and then I do want to add a lot of noise because I want it to almost look like an 80s film. So what we're going to do is I have a ton of reference photos, and what I do is I go through. Ooh, that looks nice. Oh, that's napalm. Also like this guy right here. That's pretty cool, huh? But I got a lot of art that's going to inspire this book. But what I want to do mainly is bring up a color palette. And I wanted to use Apocalypse Now style of color palette. So actually, let's go ahead and use that. We're going to be working off this color essentially, so we're just going to be color picking because my color theory sucks. And we'll go from there. I do want this to be a little bit more blue, to be honest, but we'll take what we can get. So I am going to mess with it a bit. Oh, that looks so good already. Okay, let me hide that real quick. You know what I need to do is I need to make another one. There we go. That'll work better. It's too much black still. Alright, what do I need to do? I'm pulling up reference on my phone at the same time because I have a certain way I want the sky to look. And I got the pictures of the essentially like some makeshift helicopters that I'm going to be using to kind of create our own helicopter. Also got some pictures that I've shown on here before from the DayZ AI remakes. I kind of want to use a little bit of that as well to kind of give it that 80s look. I don't know if I saved the images that I really wanted to use, so I might have messed up there. I got my own picture though. You know what? Let's do that. I'm going to share my picture. And this is, I took this myself, so I can do whatever I want with this. So if I want to actually steal these clouds, I can, you know. That's my truck, my old baby. So, all right. So I'm going to move this down. And I kind of want to work from this, right? Especially with the clouds. And I'm going to start. Actually, I kind of want to add some of this blue into some of these colors into this sky. So we're going to get something kind of similar. And we're going to kind of blotch it in here and there. because we're going to be making this into like a painting essentially. Like it'll make sense once it's all. Move that down a little bit more. As much as I want to see my truck, as much as possible. I don't really ever do landscape paintings, so this is kind of new for me. I really am just winging it, essentially. But that's why we're doing it too. Is we're kind of like having fun with it, kind of seeing where it can go. I think when I add the noise, a lot of this hard edges from the brush strokes will kind of blend out. But I still do want them in there because I do want to make it look like there are brush strokes in a way, if you really look at the image. Okay, and then essentially what I want to do is probably flip this. You know what? Let's add some, it's going to be risky, but I kind of want to add some blue in here. And it's just going to be little splotches of blue. So if you know color theory, you can sneak in colors. I don't know if you can tell because I'm zoomed out and it's even hard for me to kind of see, but I kind of want to keep it that way just. Ooh. Little mistake right there. Just in case. Alright, you can, I don't know if you can tell, but there's just little hints of blue in there. I really wanted. And that's going to be the background of the sky essentially. So what we're going to do with this image now is flip it. And we're going to work on the clouds. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can pull this off. So I'm going to go on top of this. And we're gonna put in some underlaying first. I want all these colors essentially. Like I forgot that I had taken this picture, and even though I want to use, you know, I do want to use some of this in there, here and there, like especially the darks. We're just going to throw that in there just to get it in for working on it. Plus I like the grainy look of all that, so we're going to use that. I also don't want to be in too colorful too, so I need to open up the brush length. Kind of just, that's like not half-ass it, like kind of get in there. And we can refine it as we go, so. rid of that. All right, so what is this? I don't know what that is, but we're going to use it. I think it's going to be if I can pull this off, I think it's going to be a cool little drawing. You know what I'm realizing I might have to do is if you look at this picture, there's almost like a glow around it, you know, around each cloud. I think we're going to do something like that. So let's go back in here. Let's get some of that pure kind of look. Let's get rid of this one. I'm putting in pretty much like filler. And I kind of have to find out where the edges are too. So right in there. Let me mark that real quick. So we're going to go back up here to the top layer. And just draw like a quick little spot. So that's where our focal point is going to be that we want to keep. From here, essentially, we're just going to take what we have and see what we can make out of it. I've never done an image like this before, so it's going to be a learning experience for me, so bear with me. I'm recording it, but I might actually stop talking, really focus on this, and then speed it up because it's just going to be me rendering the rest of it as best as I can, essentially, to kind of get that first full look. We're going to use some noise as well. That's going to be one of the topics that we do in here to kind of get that grainy look. Like in here, when you zoom in, how you have that grain. See all this, like different speckles, and like I want to get all that into this one. So we'll see what we can do. Doing this, guys, kind of been a pain, but I'm going to keep working on it. Clouds are weird because they're kind of like solid, but like it sounds dumb even saying it out loud. They're solid, but they're fluffy. I've been watching a ton of how to paint clouds videos on YouTube, and I still, even now as I'm doing a voiceover to kind of fill in this sped up process, I'm still not confident with the image, but I'm gonna keep working on it. So it's just one of those things where you have to kind of bite the bullet and get it done one way or another. And it's good for me anyways, because I'm beating a dead horse saying this, but I want to get better. So even though this book was supposed to be like, let's make a comic no matter what, even though we're making a comic no matter what, it was supposed to be like you kind of stick to your safe your safe space, right? You draw what you know, and that way things are easier to keep drawing instead of like right now. I'm on a panel that I draw later on, and I'm thinking about showing you what it looks like at the end of this video, because I have another clip that I added in before I did this voiceover, and it's going through the first couple pages before I kind of realized I have to set it up a little bit more. Like I gotta give this stuff a little bit more thought. But I've done enough to where I can get to a certain point and then I can revise, right? And then I can get to another point and then I can revise. And that's how we're going to do this thing in general. We're actually going to probably come back to these panels when it's all said and done. When the whole thing is finished, we're still going to come back and be like, okay, now that the whole thing is done, let's pretend we're editing and be like, okay, well, where can we add and subtract and make it better? And I think that's the best way to make these things, to be honest. So I do want to show you, I'm kind of foreshadowing something, but everything I'm doing right now is super uncomfortable for me, to be honest. I spent pretty much all day on this one panel, not all day, but a couple hours on one panel from the upcoming pages. And it's actually like I'm really proud of myself, because even with these clouds and this image, it goes to show, if you put enough time and effort into it, and enough, like, you give it enough respect to want to know how to create it, and you do all the research it takes to learn how to draw these clouds, right? And right now I'm drawing a pilot, and I'm researching what they look like, and I've kind of come up with a design. And then, even though for the first couple hours of drawing this thing, and it's not even a really difficult image, it's kind of just like a face shot, but it's just something I'm not comfortable with, and then forcing myself to do it has just really kind of opened up something within the creative process, where it's like, okay, we can do this if we get in the right mind space, and then we try hard enough, not just give up as soon as like the helmet you're drawing on it looks like a big egg. Because that happened. I was drawing it and I was like, this looks like what's that mushroom guy from the Mario game? It looked like that guy, and I was like, oh no. I'm way in over I'm way in over my head. So live and learn, though. Even I'm watching the replay on this. Even the Chinook, this helicopter that I'm doing, like I finally got, like, this was my first time drawing a helicopter ever. So, in a Chinook of all things. And I'm still, even now, after this whole thing has been done, and I kind of got the page pretty much sorted out, but even now I'm still not happy with it. So it's something that I got to keep going over. I elongate it a little bit. I drawing this, it's like the Americanized version of Godzilla. They call it like really fat and obese Chinook. It's a big one. But I realized like I was drawing it too chunky, and that's a problem I have with drawing vehicles. Is I kind of make all my vehicles, like I'll draw a Dodge Viper and it'll end up looking like a Tonka truck. Like, that's how bad I am. But yeah, just with enough respect for the medium or the art, you just keep working at it, really. And like, even watching, like, forcing myself to watch this thing, it's like, why did I draw a spaceship? You just gotta have fun with it. Like, it's part of it. So things are gonna look bad until they don't, and then you're never gonna be satisfied. It's always like, I worked even more on the clouds after this whole section, and I'm still not happy with them. I keep looking at the sky as I'm going about my day, and I'm like, I could do this better. We are in it for the long haul now. So I always start out each page by doing this. So actually, I'm gonna go, and this is gonna be page 2. And it's going to go in here. Save. Okay, whatever. Okay. We're going to make 2 layers, one for the back part, so get that in there. And one, this is going to be the actual working layer. One thing that I've been kind of having some difficulty with is kind of coming to terms with pretending I know what I'm talking about for like military stuff. I have zero knowledge about any of it. So what I have is just like watching movies, you know, researching what I can. Like even in my last picture, I drew that helicopter and like it's been bugging me. I have to like research if the wheels actually go back up into the helicopter because I'm like they can't just be hanging out there. So it's something I gotta double check. I didn't even think about when I was drawing because I was drawing off a reference. So that's gonna be something that somebody sees it and they're gonna be like, oh, that's retarded, and it's gonna take them out of the story. So I'm gonna try to minimize that as much as possible. Okay. We are going to get this down to 72 first, as I always do. I think I'm putting this in the other video I had already started, so that's why I took a break for most of the day. I've been struggling with coming to terms with how I'm going to start this thing, so I know I'm going to the first panel. I want to make thinner lines than that, but I'm just going to cut it in here so that I know where I can work. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I can get rid of that. I can make another panel and clip into it. And what I want to do is I kind of want to show a pilot. And originally I was going to have the pilot doing like kind of commanding the whole mission, but then I was like, that's kind of stupid. I don't know how accurate that would be. Just off my real quick creator brain, I just thought of it. So, but now that I've really been like kind of looking things over, I'm like, that's probably not the best idea. We are going to try to make things somewhat similar to pre-existing thing. It is kind of futuristic, but at the same time, it's also built off of reference. So I am going to have to look up some reference. It's gonna be like a speed racer helmet. We're gonna do something cool with the like I want it to look. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be purposely subdued a bit, just because the soldiers are gonna be so crazy that I need to like kind of give myself a break before I really, like they're pilots. They don't need to be like super jacked and muscles and all kinds of stuff that the soldiers are going to have because they're pilots, you know. So they have their job, and the other soldiers have theirs. I mean, they're military base, so like they're going to have, you know, bare minimal. Like, they'll be able to fight and stuff like that if it came down to it, but it's not that kind of story. So I'm gonna keep them doing what they do best, and that's flying the damn helicopter like a boss. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I'm going to start also putting in some lettering. So I need to start coming up with the story already. I need to start grouping things. So this is where it's going to start to get kind of complicated in these comics. Is that I'm going to start really playing it by the book. I've been really loose on a lot of stuff and kind of like happy go lucky, kind of like, hey, do whatever you want. But there are some kind of rules and procedures you should probably follow to kind of keep everything clean. So we'll call this panel 1. All right. So then we come up, and you know what? I'm gonna do it this way this time. So we're gonna go in here and we're just gonna fill it, and then do another layer. We're gonna get rid of that, and we're gonna clip that into that so that we can do whatever we want. So I saw this one picture, and essentially it was, I want to kind of keep a dark tone. I'm going to have to do some really, it's going to suck, but I'm going to have to do some studies, or a study doing this, kind of really take my time, because we're going to get kind of how the helicopter looks. Like, there is a ton of stuff. So um, like, his legs right here, like this. Have his hand. The one picture I saw, he was like messing with a throttle right here. It looked like a throttle. I don't know what it was, but we'll essentially go with that and then research it and kind of go from there. And we got a person sitting here. It's another pilot. And then there's just a ton. Like, I know there's 2 main ones, and one's the level. So that's level. And they got the same thing over here, so level. And you got one that's like the map. So it's like, I don't know what that one is, but then you got all these cluster gauges. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but we'll figure it out. There's just a ton. A ton of clusters and buttons galore. But if I can pull this off, which I plan to, I mean, I'm going to give it my best shot. It should look pretty cool, I think. Your legs coming up like that. Right. Panel 2. We're going to have 4 panels in this page. So, oop, shift. Let's cut it there. Let's get back into this thing. Come in here. Grab this color again. And then do another layer on top of that. I'm going to clip it. You can get rid of this rectangle selection. Go straight into the clipping. And this one, I kind of wanted the, I want the pilot to kind of be looking back. Like there's the seat here or whatever. I don't know how that works, but I'm sure there's some kind of thing here with the back of a seat, even though it's probably not. But I kind of want the pilot looking back like that. We'll have that pilot just straightforward. And we're gonna have our window, whatever. He's gonna be saying something essentially to the next in charge. It's gonna be like comms on essentially, because they're starting to get closer. And so then we got a really hard part, I think. This is going to be rough. I'm just going to say that now. This whole thing is going to be extremely rough beginning, because this is like a scenario that I've never drawn in my life. And I don't want to draw it. So as much fun as I've been having and talking about making this thing, it negated the fact that I had to draw this scene to get everything started. And I was kind of dreading it, but I was hoping that at some point I would snap out of it and want to draw this scene, you know, because I'm like, okay, you know, sometimes it's fun to draw something you never drew, and who knows, when I start dissecting these panels, I probably will start to fall in love with this page, especially because a lot of the times when you do this stuff like this, even though it looks like trash right now, if you can pull it off, it'll actually end up being like your favorite thing that you've done, because of the struggle and all that stuff it took to like kind of get it done, and like believing in yourself. And you never know what you're going to be able to come up with, essentially. And so there is an excitement about that. And then the last panel, and we're just going to go, I almost want to do black again because it's going to be a darker kind of, go like a charcoal gray. Because in this one, it's gonna, we're gonna kind of have like one of these, another like kind of like a captain hanging out, kind of holding onto the rail. He's waiting for the orders. There's the hull. And then you got your bay. Oh, this dog's killing me. He's just hanging out there. I don't know what the inside of these things look like. At least at the moment, I'm going to figure it out. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be something like that. Like there's going to be like a narrow spot into an opening. And I believe there's a door on the other side of this where they launch out of. And so my best panel 4. Oh my god. Just trying to relax. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of that. Alright, so there's our first actual sequential page in extremely rough thumbnail version, which I'm going to refine panel by panel. That's essentially how I'm going to do it. But let's go ahead and save it. Page 2. That's going to be, yeah, page 2. Save. And then, yeah, and then what we can do, essentially, is go back through and go let's just give it a different color. So Command E. Okay. I like having matching panels on adjacent pages. That's why I'm doing it like this. With the 4 panels as well, like I'll have to figure it out to where like the next page, which I want to do anyways, I want it to match. Actually, I could just get rid of that layer. 4. And then we go in here and we file save as. Make sure you do this. That's going to be one of your biggest things that's going to mess with you really, really bad. Make sure you stay on top of your panels or your page saves. You don't want to save over old files. Like that's the worst thing you can do. So let's keep it simple. And let's just follow basic storytelling. So we're going to have essentially that soldier turn and start walking this way, right? And we're going to show more of the Bay Hall. And then panel 2. I want to show a little bit more of the Bay Hall. We're going to have whatever, you know. I want a like kind of far away shot. We could see him entering wherever they are, and then maybe one of the guys' boots. we do want to show like he had just walked through this thing, and there's going to be like the whole thing is like kind of narrow. There's a door here, and I believe there's windows. So it goes something like that. And it's kind of like a worm's eye view. Let me really define this a little bit more so I know when I come back to it, it's a guy. And then, sorry, I was zoning out for a second. Panel 3, clip it. Don't forget the small stuff, essentially. And we're going to show more of the soldier walking up. I'm probably going to, this is all going to be like kind of spaced out a little bit more because I'm not giving myself any room. I don't like it. He's going to be pointing up. He's going to say comms on. I might just do this part of it as much as I want to render because I'm getting a cramp in my neck. Really bad. Sometimes it's worse than others. Tonight it's kind of pretty rough. I think it's because I had been, I drew for pretty much all day today. I didn't do the gym stuff, so. I've been having some car problems, so I got to figure that out. And I stayed home, kind of worked on that a little bit, and worked on the other part of this video that's before this. Alright, so we're going to keep this all simple. I'm going to do this one. And over here, and then we're going to have just him. He's going to be turning back. Thumbs up. Still going to have a military outfit, so he's going to be a little bit more heavily, not heavily, but he's going to be more in suit than the pilots, because he's going to, you got to keep things uniform. Pilots aren't completely decked out, so he's not going to be completely decked out either, but he's definitely going to be in uniform. We're going to save that. Alright, this is page 4 and 5 coming up, so we can delete that. We go up here right away. Like I was saying, don't cheat yourself out of this step because you will lose stuff and you will forget you ever even had it. So page 4. And you're like, what happened, Let's keep this simple. Let's do a 2-page. Right down the middle. We're going to do one character here. And one character here. And it's going to be our first look at the characters. I'm going to have them different though, like they can't both be doing the same pose. But you get the point. We're gonna do this is gonna be Ronnie. This will be Judd. Just because I've been drawing so much Judd lately that I need to start drawing Ronnie more and give him a little bit more love. Judd was just kind of easier to draw in some of the pictures, so I kind of copped out with it. But I don't have favorites, so I want to try to balance it out a little bit more. Like I want people to like create their own favorites out of the two characters, you know. He does have a helmet, but he's not gonna have a helmet here. So, and Ronnie has a beard, so which is funny because Ronnie's actually the easier one to draw, if we're being honest, because all he has is like kind of like a bummy face, like just long hair and then this, you know. Whereas Judd, the one that I said is easier to draw, is actually harder to draw because he has all these like scars. Like I have an anarchy sign carved into his head, so but it's kind of like realistically carved in his head on accident, so that like it looks like terrible. You know, it's not like a perfect anarchy sign, and then he's got like scars all over. He's got like a fresh one down the side of his face that's like kind of tricky to draw because I got like staples in it. For some reason, I thought it'd be cool to put in there. The only good thing I'll say for him though is like I said, it definitely builds character. So he's got a little bit more character than Ronnie right now because I've fleshed him out more lately doing kind of like feature flyers, doing all the poster looking artworks that I've been doing lately with him versus Ronnie. So that's all it is. But it's gonna fix itself, so it's no worries. Now I'll just fill this in so I can kind of I don't know, you know. I'm going to have to use a lot of reference too, so I just wanted to be able to kind of go over this, and then I might kind of work a little bit more on it on my own time and kind of figure out what I'm doing exactly, and then kind of go back over it recording wise so that like I can show people because this is essentially the hardest. This is as hard as it's going to get essentially, and I'm not going to shy away from it. I said I'm gonna learn how to do things in this comic book, so I have to stay true to my word and learn how to do things. So we'll figure it out one way or another, and I think the comic book will be better for it. Like Old Man issue number 3, I had never really drawn scenes. As stupid as that sounds, I've never drawn scenes with like characters interacting inside houses. It's always been kind of like really flush and just atmospheric drawings that I've always done, and even all the comic books I've done. I think the closest thing I ever did was draw like a classroom and a bathroom scene where like a monster was hiding in one of the stalls or something. But yeah, this one we're going all out. So I know he's got tons of armor, so we're gonna make him look all clunky, and there's gonna be cool lighting in here. So I'm actually starting to get excited about this again because now I got like the characters in, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of start to like we're almost there, and I think that's why I like my artistic kind of like energy starting to pick up. But yeah, we're not almost there. I got to go back and do all that stuff. Plus, I kind of want to go through and finish this part. So, but I also need to come up with what happens because I got no dialogue, like no story so far. I just know that I'm going to introduce kind of like the general, and that's another thing is I don't know um, how to do that, like who's in charge and who talks. Like I know I have a not an AI because it's a real person, but I have like a person that is going to be like essentially the voice of the comic book, and it's going to be someone giving them directions. And I got a cool little setup that I've been practicing in some of these scenes where like it's going to be almost if you've ever played Halo, um, like it's going to be like a Cortana character, except the Cortana character is going to like manage everything, like down to like the radar. It's going to be an interactive hub, and it's essentially a person that's like kind of letting them know like this is ahead. And then like another cool thing I came up with is I want to have a live feed of them saying like when they're about to run out of ammo, how much ammo they have, how much ammo is going to take to do something, where the reload is, the time, because they're going to be not on like a crazy time limit like I am, but they're going to be on like a reasonable, but like hey, this shouldn't take, you know, this shouldn't take too long, you know, and just saying it like that. It's like they have a job to do, and like the people are expecting them. They're like they've given them an allowance of time. Is all I'm saying. And that person, and then the HUD is gonna like, or the codex. I don't know what we're gonna call it yet. I think the codex is already taken by Halo and whatever. I even got the font for it set up. But I'm gonna have two versions. So the first version of the codex is, I'm just calling it the codex right now. It's gonna be the general, and I got that set up. And then as soon as they drop into the sky, we're gonna turn on the I want to say in-game in-game HUD, but it's gonna be them like speaking to that person. Then after that, you know. It's also I like this dynamic where I want like the general or whoever is in charge of. I don't know the terminology yet. I'm gonna just say general, and you kind of know what I'm talking about. But I got like the general. I want him to be like kind of an asshole, kind of like Major Payne essentially, and like kind of. I really want to have him like say stupid, really cringy jokes, and I don't know if I can get away with it. Um, I'm going to ask a couple friends what they think, and I'll go from there. But yeah, if I can do that, then these next few pages right here are pretty much already written. And then I have a really cool, funny kind of scene versus um, um, if I don't write that, then I might be in trouble for sounding kind of boring. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna put some seatbelts on them too. Like it's gonna look like they've just been like kind of meditating. They're not like sleepers or anything like that, where it's like Halo, where it's like you gotta wake him from sleep, and he's been sleeping for 100 years or something. It's like no, they just took a nap from like the plane ride, and it's not that they're even sleeping. It's just that uh, the mission is now like they're going over the mission one last time, and it's just the reassurance voice of reason that they're going to be dealing with before they're dropped off. So that's where they wake up here, not wake up, but like I was just saying. Um, and then they're going to just be given a couple details. And then I got like a famous line that I have written down. He's going to say that line. They're going to drop into the sky, and then it's smooth sailing from there. So uh, I'm probably going to do a couple more of these pages, like this thumbnail. I don't know about tonight. I might call it a night for now, but let me save it. Um, yeah, that's the plan. And then I'll definitely render this unrecorded, and then let me get in all my details and kind of refine what I'm going to do, because I'm going to have to pull up a reference and kind of really figure out how these panels are going to look. But then I'll record the aftermath and kind of go through what I did, uh, just for this part too, because it's going to be tedious and I'm probably going to lose my mind a little bit, but I need to make it through it. And we're going section by section because in the past I've I'm gonna draw this guy's face while we're kind of BSing. I think that'd be a cool video anyways. But in the past I've gotten ahead of myself where I've had the scenes already written out, like responsible comic person, right? Like you come up with your scenes and then you plan them, but then uh, it takes you forever to get there, and then like by the time you actually get to that scene, you're burned out. You don't want to do it anymore because you're like, I've been thinking about it for so long. Not only does it feel like I've already done it, but now it feels like work. So I'm staying away from that, and I'm going to uh, work on it section by section. So I got some cool stuff that when I was just coming up with ideas, I have written down. But that's the thing is I have them written down, and I have things that excite me written down, so that when I do get to these scenes, I can just pull from it and then relive the excitement and then come up with stuff, you know. So I don't burn myself out like right now, you know. He's got like kind of a girly face now, so we'll do something about that though. But that's the plan. Like I want this guy to kind of look like Leonard Skinner-ish. You've seen in the cover that I did. He's kind of he's my he's taken like a back seat to like the attention so far with this comic book, and I'm a little bit to blame because I've only really been drawing Judd because Judd in the beginning was the safer drawing for me to do because I've with Old Man and other characters I've only really drawn bald, you know, like scarred up uh, dudes. So uh, this guy is kind of different than what I'm usually drawing, even though he has the beard. So, but he's gonna be pretty cool, I think. Like, I think it's gonna either be him. I think it's gonna be mixed down the table of who people like more, and I gotta figure out what his kind of gimmick is. He might just be like a good old country boy kind of character. Judd is kind of like the wild man, which honestly, if I had to pick between the two, I'd probably resonate more with Ronnie here. Kind of like the outdoorsy, tough, rugged dude. And then I think I've said it before, but people like Judd like kind of piss me off, you know. So um, I feel like they're gonna have good styles. It's gonna clash, but I think it's also gonna be like really cool to see what I can create between the two of them, and then the HUD, which I have to come up with a name for. But the funny thing is I wanted to do some promotion kind of videos. Like I wanted to come up with some really cool uh, trailers, and I wanted to use the HUD as kind of like one of the trailers where it's like you get put in this situation and then you hear the person's voice. And I have this friend who I've talked about before, so it's the same person, but she's out in Australia, and I thought she would be like, I don't like off the top of my head, like I don't know how exactly she sounds. She does videos and stuff, but like I never really thought about it until like just recently. And the funny thing is too is like I've reached out to her and I was like, hey, uh, you wanna do this voiceover for like a trailer? And then like sure enough, I haven't heard back from her. So I'm like, oh, no, like once I'm excited about it, it's gonna be like this, like I'm biting my nails, waiting to see what she says. But it's funny because after I said that, I've started imagining her as like the HUD voice. So anytime I'm like thinking of ideas, stuff like that, like I can hear like the Australian accent, like that whole thing. So it's gonna be really cool, I think, with or without her. But it's definitely given me a character to kind of think about while I'm doing this. So we'll see. I got some other options as well, so um, somebody will come through, and it'll be cool either way. But okay, I think I'm gonna keep him kind of like in the dark because I've already shown so much of this guy that like I'm not ready to like really. The cool thing is I've shown his helmet. That's the funny thing about this whole thing is he's had his helmet shown already. Judd hasn't, so we're gonna see Judd's helmet. And I was actually also thinking about like starting to develop his character as soon as he puts that helmet on too, to like be like he doesn't want to wear. He's like a biker and he doesn't want to wear a helmet. You know, he's like his safety is his concern. You know what I mean? He's like one of those people type of character. It's kind of rebellious in a way, but he looks serious here though. I'll give him that. He actually has kind of like some uh, connections here though, so he does have like, because I have a helmet on him for the most part. I don't think he's going to take his off. The face part opens up so you can kind of get his facial features, but when they're fighting, which is going to be pretty much the rest of the thing, it's going to be closed and that whole thing. So um, which is weird because like you would think I would want to show more of him because he's going to be easier to draw and a lot more fun with his hair and all that. Oh man. I'm probably going to move him up just to give this more room, more breathing room. Yeah, I can move him up. Oh, I got a crank in my neck so bad. I might have to call it, you guys. I wanted to do a couple more pages of this, but I also like I also need to really fine tune what I'm going to do. I've been kind of doing it on the fly, which I know this whole thing is kind of like it's on the fly type of story, but I also do want to know where I'm kind of going as I'm recording, so because I'm going to have to do it twice probably. So I might the next couple pages I'll probably thumbnail without recording, and then I'll jump on the recording, just kind of show this is what I did, and we'll go from there. So we'll say, I hope this is a cool video. I think it's going to be a lot different than my usual videos, and then a lot of these videos are going to be a little bit more like this one because we're in it for the long haul now. So we got a lot of pages to go through, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. So um, if you did, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.